Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to yet another Gunpla review, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the high-resolution model Gundam Wing Zero EW by Bandai. If you haven't seen my unboxing and the speed build videos of this kit yet, then feel free to check those out, but for now, on to the review. The high-resolution model Gundam Wing Zero EW directly carries on the legacy of 2016's high-resolution Barbatos. It is an absolutely stunning beast of a mecha, but it is definitely not without its flaws. So is this kit all style and no substance? Not entirely. This is a line of kits that is most definitely in its infancy and suffering from a lot of growing pains. Most notably, an infuriating number of loose parts and incomplete design decisions. So is this Chinese action figure Japanese model kit hybrid worth its $100 plus price tag? Well, personally, I'm happy to have it in my collection, but if it was destroyed in an earthquake or beamed up by aliens, I wouldn't quite be rushing out to replace it. And let's find out why. Also, I will mention that this was the most infuriating review I've had to do since the real grade Sinanju. Fuck you! But anyway, here we go. You simply don't get mecha model kits that look better than this. At least not ones that look this good just pulled out of the box and snapped together. The Gundam Wing Zero EW is the second full high-resolution model release after the Gundam Barbatos. That was a mixed bag of a kit. It looked phenomenal, but many people felt it didn't live up to the price tag for a multitude of reasons. And although the Wing Zero is an improvement over the Barbatos, it's still the same mix of pros and cons that we've seen with that kit. So let's start with the aesthetics. It's absolutely gorgeous. First off, this isn't an anime-accurate version of the Wing Zero custom. It's an exaggerated re-envisioning of the iconic suit, comparable to Tamashii Nation's metal build figures. And boy, does it look impressive. Colors! This kit is to a master grade what a real grade is to a high grade. The color separation is fantastic, with nice additions like the breaking up of the white sections of the mobile suit into white and light gray. And don't even get me started on the textures! Oh man, you went and got me started. On here we've got matte, high gloss, clear parts, metallic, and actual die-cast metal parts. Sure, the green section in the chest is lacking some oomph. Thanks, China. But all in all, the Wing Zero custom has never looked better. But of course, aesthetically, this kit isn't without its cons. Or should I say con? And that's gate marks. Gloss-coated and painted parts have always had one massive issue: the marks left over from where the parts were attached to the runner. Thankfully, most of these parts have been undergated, so most of the nub marks are hidden from view. But sadly, not all of them. A very minor complaint, however. Size-wise, it measures in at around 18 centimeters to the top of the head, and there it is beside the Master Grade Wing Zero Custom, Master Grade Proto Zero, Master Grade TV version, and the Master Grade Double Zeta. As for the build quality, you can still feel this line of kits is still in its early days. Solid inner frame. The made in China inner frame is an improvement over what we've seen before. It looks great, the articulation is very nice, and the quality is solid. Once the armor is attached, for the most part it still looks pretty good, but motherfucking hand grenade! Mostly. The amount of design oversights on a kit this pricey that's meant to be a perfect finished product out of the box is way too high. Glue is cheaper than therapy, so glue this, this, and this. Tighten up this, this, and this. Otherwise, you're in for a world of fury. You might as well just glue it all. Some of these are an absolute joke. Maybe if the one factory made both the inner frame and the outer armor, this wouldn't be a problem. Maybe? Anyway, moving on to the accessories, and there is the high-resolution Gundam Wing Zero EW with everything that it comes with. This kit comes with interchangeable finger-style manipulators, and what we have in here is fists, open hands, hands for holding the beam sabers, and hands for holding the buster rifles. As for weapons, we have the two buster rifles, which can be combined together into the twin buster by dropping these little sections here and connecting them together. The color separation on these is pretty solid in grey and brown, as well as clear green there on the lenses. The shield, which is looking just as flashy as the rest of the mobile suit, can attach onto the front section of the forearm with this little piece in here. Lastly, there's the beam sabers, which recycle the green beam effects from an older kit and could look a lot better. When the handles aren't in use, they can be stored here, up on the wings. Okay, so now moving on to the articulation, there's the head down and up. We've got two joints in the neck there like we saw with the inner frame. There it is, side to side. Watch out for those ears because they fall off quite easily unless you glue them. Speaking of which, this kit has this nice little addition of these parts here that can move down just like that. So that's pretty cool. This little neck section here is a little bit annoying and keeps popping up and down like this. I think it's part of the movement, but it just feels a little bit on the loose side. The shoulder cannons open up and out like this. There's one, there's two. The arm can move out and forward like this. As for the shoulder, we've got up and down here. This slots out like that. This little part here can move around. Flappy piece up and down slightly, the same with the one around here on the back. These three shoulder parts can move around, the top one, the middle one, and then the bottom one. Not a whole lot of movement between them all, but it's still pretty cool. There's all the way up, all the way down. There's the arm all the way up, rotate all the way around. Upper arm rotation, the bend at the elbow, a second bit of a bend right here, and the hand is a ball joint as well as this hinge, and the thumb can move around independently to the hand. As for the ab crunch, there it is all the way to the front, and that is pretty nice. There it is all the way to the back. So one more time, front and back. This part moves out of the way. Side to side at the waist, pretty good as well. Rotation there at the waist. Front skirting armor up and down as well as side to side. The side skirting armor has up and down as well as back and forward. That is attached to the rear skirting that can move up like this and move all of that out of the way. There is that kick all the way up to the front, all the way out to the back. There is all the way out to the sides, and as you can see, this thing can go well beyond the splits. We have some tight ass rotation there at the upper thigh. Right there is that bend at the knee. Nice. This ankle armor can move side to side on a ball joint here, and we've got a bit of a hinge up and down at this point right here. There is that ankle side to side, and I think we have a little bit, but not too much, going on here at the toe. Onto the wings, and we have a pivot at this point, rotation here at this point, up and down. We have rotation up here, as well as up and down, more rotation, even more rotation here, so that means we've got rotation here and here on the same part. Up on this smaller wing, we've got rotation there, up and down there. This super loose wing spins around like that. These gray feather sections can flip out like so. On the major wing then, we've got another little bit of rotation here, even more here. This whole segment of wing pulls out like that to extend, and ball joint, ball joint, ball joint, ball joint, ball joint, ball joint, and just rotation. As for the second set of wings, we've rotation here. They bend in and out. Beam sabers forward and back. These wings can really move up. And finally, this part splits out like that. I do recommend gluing everything that doesn't move, otherwise you're in for a bit of a headache. But once you glue all those trouble parts, this thing is epic. Alright, so that is as close as I could get to the double buster rifle pose. The hands are just too weak and just keep popping off all the time for this. So when you're trying to attach this around to the back, things fall off. When you try to put it up to the chest, things fall off. Basically, things fall off. With most of the parts that fall off, you can basically glue them on, but when it comes to the hands, they're a little bit of a lost cause, because these are for interchanging, and if they're popping out straight out of the box, over time, swapping these in and out, they're just going to get worse and worse. So basically trying to attach the fingers on here, then onto the hands, is almost impossible. I got it right once, but then decided to twist these arms and bang, everything came off. So all in all, the holding hands of the Buster rifles are pretty crappy. I mean, I've been messing around with this the whole time, and they just don't seem to want to hold on to things without just popping off with like absolutely that's it, I'm done for today. I'm coming back tomorrow. So with this kit we've got two transformations. Let's start off first with the atmosphere entry mode. Put that back on. Fucking something like that. So pretty much that's as close as I'm willing to go with this. As you'd expect, something like this with a lot of loose parts, it's not fun at all to transform. And speaking of which, let's do Neo Bird mode. So finally, there is the transformation to Neo Bird mode, and all I can say is the only people who could possibly enjoy transforming this thing are masochists with a buckaroo fetish. Parts just fall off everywhere all the time and it's a nightmare. And just like always from the top, this looks fantastic, even better than usual. It looks cool, but from the bottom, it just looks like a crippled Gundam with its shield on the back of its head. And it just done went and broke my action base. But anyway, that right there is it for the review. It's definitely a beautiful looking Gundam, but Bandai could have done with giving it a little more time and ironing out all those kinks. But as always, thank you very much for watching. If you want to see more high-res models in future, hit that like button. And of course, I'll see you next time.